In this series of videos, we're going to be talking about logistic regression, which is one of these topics. It's kind of like at the, in its inception was at the kind of edge of classical statistics and machine learning. So it's an older technique, kind of like linear regression, that's been brought into a more modern context. And that really kind of brings us to the motivation. How can we leverage tools that we've had for a while, kind of twist them in some sense, like contort them into new contexts? And the idea here is like if you know that a particular model type works really well and it's mathematically simple and it's explainable, explicable, I guess, um, it's worth saving. It's worth salvaging. It's like, having a nice piece of furniture or something. Oh, you don't want to throw that out. Like we can repurpose that. And so in some sense, what we're going to be doing in this series of videos, at least conceptually, is repurposing linear regression into a context where we're going to be predicting categorical targets. And not just categorical, but in this particular video, logical targets. Now, there are extensions for logistic regression that do predict arbitrary categorical targets called multinomial logistic regression, and even more exotic flavors like ordinal logistic regression that predicts ordinal categorical variables. But for our purposes here, we're just going to be predicting yeses and nos, and we're going to be investigating how we can kind of spin linear regression in order to get that job done. Along the way, we're going to see a whole bunch of new and interesting ideas related to alternate KPIs for classifier performance and some visual representations for performance in a couple of different contexts. So a couple of different ways to graphically show how well your model is performing. So lots of good stuff in here, and stay tuned for a bunch of content related to logistic regression.